Today we are here in Cambridge and we're going to be doing the famous boat punting. So we've gone for a split ticket, which is half going to be with a chauffeur giving us all the tips and tricks and showing us a little bit of the buildings that are around. And then we're going to do a 30-minute of self-punting, which I am so looking forward to. I'm going to be terrible. I just know it, but I can't wait to give it a go. I'm telling you now, they make it look so easy, but it's not. Have you ever hit your head?
Yes, but not on this one.
As we float down the River Cam, we are passing through more than 800 years of history. This is Cambridge, home to kings, rebels, Nobel Prize winners, famous scientists and best-selling authors, and somehow one student who decided to keep a pet bear. The University of Cambridge is over 800 years old, having been founded in 1209. This makes it one of the oldest universities anywhere on Earth. Only a handful are older, including Bologna in Italy, and perhaps, annoyingly for Cambridge, Oxford. Cambridge only exists because Oxford completely imploded. Back in 1209, after a dispute involving the death of a local woman, King John allowed 3 Oxford scholars to be executed. And whether they were guilty or not is still debated, but what happened next changed history forever. So a group of scholars packed their bags, left Oxford behind, and came to Cambridge, where the university was founded. St John's College, founded in 1511, has educated everyone from poets to prime ministers, and stretching across the river is probably Cambridge's most photographed bridge, the Bridge of Sighs. Despite the dramatic name, the students weren't marched across the bridge on their way to prison. It simply borrowed the name and the style from the famous bridge in Venice. Although, judging by exam season, there have probably been plenty of genuine sighs crossing it.
It's far more beautiful from this side. And this was a cost-cutting feature done by the college. So they said worksmen and tradesmen would see the other side, whereas members of the public would see this side, so it'd need to look nicer, of course. It's a good thing they did this, because it was originally called New Bridge, simply because it was new. So the Queen, when she was walking across Kitchen Bridge, Queen Victoria, it was noted in her advisor's diaries that she said it looked very much like the Bridge of Sighs in Venice. So it was renamed because of this. You see some students probably a bit wet today because they've been jumping in the river, because I think it's the end of exams.
This is the Wren Library, designed by Sir Christopher Wren. It was cleverly built on the first floor so that if the River Cam floods, water flows underneath instead of damaging the priceless collection. And those enormous windows? They're there to flood the library with natural light long before electricity existed. You can even punt yourself here if you want to, but trust me, it is much harder than it looks. Steering with a long pole takes far more skill than you would think, and it's pretty common to see first-timers bouncing off of the riverbanks or just spinning in circles.
I'm giving it a go later.
Yeah. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, just I'd say probably stay out of the way of the big boats.
Yeah.
They're a lot heavier. Basically, just make sure it's pointing and like the pole itself is pointing in the way you want to go.
For a city that looks so peaceful today, Cambridge has survived some incredibly turbulent times. During outbreaks like the bubonic plague, the university closed several times as disease swept across England.
Essentially, when you caught the illness, you would contact your lawyer to get your final will and testimony sorted. You would give your lawyer the Black Death and they would die as well. So we needed to regenerate this population, and the teacher of law, Bishop William Bateman, founded Trinity Hall to do so.
Clare Bridge is the oldest working crossing in Cambridge, built in 1639. The bridge is famous for its elegant stone design and for its 14 stone balls, which has a missing slice. Legend says that the builder chipped it off after not being paid in full. Petty, I love it. But the more likely explanation is that a loose piece of stone simply fell over time. Not quite as exciting. That incredible building is King's College Chapel. Construction began in 1446 and it wasn't finished until almost a century later. People often say it's the largest chapel in the world. That's not actually true, but what is true is arguably more impressive. It has the largest fan vault ceiling anywhere in Earth. I genuinely can't believe how anyone built this without modern machinery. Cambridge has inspired artists from all over the world. One of the most famous was Chinese poet Xu Zhimo, who studied here in the 1920s. His poem became one of the best-loved poems in modern Chinese literature. Now for one of Cambridge's biggest myths. This strange wooden bridge is the mathematical bridge. Built in 1749, people love saying that Sir Isaac Newton designed it without a single bolt. And it's a great story, but there's just one problem, that Newton had been dead for over 20 years. The bridge has actually been rebuilt twice, in 1866 and again in 1905, because timber eventually wears out. The one we see today follows the original design, but benefits from much stronger materials. But sometimes the truth is just as impressive as the myth. Speaking of myths, you've probably heard Hitler deliberately avoided bombing Cambridge because he loved the architecture. That's a brilliant story, but unfortunately historians don't think it's true. The reality is much less dramatic. Cambridge simply just wasn't considered an important industrial target compared with other British cities. Nearby airfields were bombed. The university, however, largely escaped. One fact about Cambridge that isn't a myth is that many of the code breakers who cracked the Nazi Enigma code had studied or taught here. Their work helped change the course of World War II and is widely believed to have shortened the war by as much as 2 years. The university here has produced some astonishing people. Sir David Attenborough studied natural sciences here before spending a lifetime bringing the natural world into our living rooms. And Stephen Hawking spent over 40 years working in Cambridge. And in 2009, he threw perhaps the greatest party ever, a party for time travellers. The invitations weren't sent out until after it had already finished. If someone from the future had turned up, they would have proved that time travel works, but sadly, no one came. Hidden away inside Cambridge University's library are some of humanity's greatest treasures. Isaac Newton's original papers, rare works of Shakespeare, and even the original illustrations of Winnie the Pooh. It's hard to think of another library where you can trace the birth of modern physics, and then wander over to Pooh Bear. You may think of Cambridge students as being prim and proper, but they've always enjoyed breaking the rules. The poet, Lord Byron, was told students aren't allowed dogs. So, he got a bear, arguing that bears weren't mentioned anywhere in the rules, because apparently no one had thought to ban a bear.
And he took it to all of his lectures and around the college with him until they've quickly changed the specification, so there's no animals full stop. And that's why there's a new pub open off the river to honour it, Byron's Bear. Very nice pub if you fancy anything later. Very nice to go there.
And then there was the famous Austin 7 prank. In 1958, engineering students somehow dismantled an entire car, carried it onto the roof of Senate House overnight, and rebuilt it up there, and then just left everyone wondering how on earth they managed to do it. Only at Cambridge could engineering homework end up with a car on a rooftop. And then the prank returned in 1963. This time, another Austin 7 ended up hanging beneath the famous Bridge of Sighs at St. John's College. The students floated the car down the river on a platform made of several punts tied together. Once they reached the bridge, they threaded cables through the car and hoisted it in place. Honestly, that's probably the most Cambridge crime imaginable. When autumn arrives, another transformation takes place. The college becomes covered in a vivid crimson ivy, and that's Boston ivy. Despite the name, it actually comes from East Asia. Today is one of Cambridge's signature sights and one of the reasons the city looks so magical in October. And that is really Cambridge in a nutshell, home to some of the greatest minds that have ever lived, where a bridge inspires poetry, a physicist throws parties for time travellers, a student keeps a pet bear, and somehow all of it feels perfectly normal. From the river, Cambridge looks calm and timeless, almost unchanged. But behind every college, bridge, and courtyard, there's another incredible story waiting to be discovered. So we just finished our guided tour, and now we're going to give punting a go ourselves. It looks really hard, so wish me luck.